Aloha and welcome to the Ocean Adventures of Manta Man. I'm your host, Keller Laros. As an experienced waterman living and diving in Hawaii for the past 20 years, my life, like this show, is all about adventure. I'm a scuba diving instructor and I've dedicated my life to introducing people from all around the world to Hawaii's unique marine environment. One of my very favorite things to do is the manta ray night dive on the Big Island. My commitment and dedication to these majestic sea creatures has earned me the nickname of Manta Man. So stay tuned while we go for an ocean adventure. Our journey begins on the island of Oahu in Hawaii, where we travel to Ko'olina Resort Marina located on the west side of the island. This is the home of the Kai'oli Oli, a state-of-the-art 61-foot power catamaran capable of taking us to any spot in the Hawaiian island chain. The crew of Kai'oli Oli are highly experienced and talented in creating unforgettable ocean experiences in and around Hawaii's exotic marine environment. Joining me for the adventure is my good friend Kelly Peterson.
I was born in the Virgin Islands and I grew up in a small town on the west end of Catalina Island. I spent the first 4 years of my life living on a sailboat surrounded by blue ocean and blue sky. I've always been surrounded by nature. I love nature and I love extreme sports.
Tammy Cole is a Kai'oli Oli crew member and their official eco-agent. She'll be guiding us on our journey with her expert local knowledge. All right, Tammy, what do you got for us today?
All right, well, first of all, guys, we're going to head around the leeward side of Oahu over to the north shore. We're going to be diving with some sharks today. All right, sharks!
First, we'll be leaving the dock at Ko'olina Harbor and make our way down the leeward coast of the island. Leeward Oahu is a diverse marine environment where we're most likely to run into spinner dolphins, whales, and sea turtles. Then we'll make our way around Kaena Point to the north shore. That's where we're scheduled to meet up with thrill seeker Jimmy Hall. I heard Captain Jimmy Hall is half man and half fish. He's an expert waterman and one of the world's best paragliders. He even does that crazy sport base jumping.
I do these sort of things just because it's what's fun for me. I like doing it. I don't think it's that dangerous. I'm just out there having a good time. That's basically all it is to me. I just want to have fun.
As the owner of Hawaii Shark Encounters, Jimmy and his business partner, Chris Lowley, have shared their knowledge of sharks with people from around the world. In fact, Chris has guided more shark dives than anyone in Hawaii. Further up the coast, I noticed that there were no houses or buildings, only majestic mountains and valleys that looked like something out of a Hollywood movie. The winds were out of the north, making the going miserable for some of the passengers. For Captain Rob, it was just another day at the office. But to a few of the guest passengers, it was a white-knuckle barfathon voyage. Luckily for us, the Kai'oli Oli was especially designed to handle treacherous sea conditions with comfort in mind. Kaena Point is one of the most turbulent points in the world. This is where the north shore swells meet the west side swells. Waves as high as 8-story buildings have been reported here. In fact, up until recently, it's pretty much been off limits to surfers. When the conditions are just right, you see guys toe-in surfing this once forbidden playground for wave riders. The waves are so massive and fast that the surfers need to be towed into the wave by jet ski just to catch it. If you wipe out, you're in for a ragdoll wash and rinse cycle. We finally made it around the point and we're officially on the north side of the island. The North Shore is commonly referred to as the 7-Mile Miracle because of the many world-class surf breaks located there. It's also the home of the Banzai Pipeline, one of the world's most dangerous waves. Guaranteed, every year there are serious injuries and an occasional death. It's definitely an experts-only situation at the pipe. The wind seemed to calm down a bit, but it was still making surface conditions challenging. Captain Rob radioed Captain Jimmy and the report was sharks.
Oh my God, sharks!
And you guessed it, more sharks. Captain Jimmy said early morning is better for shark encounters, but with the rough sea conditions, we were running a little late. Only time would tell what Mother Ocean had in store for us. Earlier in the day, Jimmy said 20 sharks had shown up for breakfast. I'd be happy seeing 1 or 2, but anyway, everyone was getting excited as Jimmy and Chris's boat was in sight. It's been a long, arduous journey up here on the Kai'oli Oli. It was a little hairy when we rounded the point. The waves were really, really giant. But we're here now, and it's calmed down a little bit. Still a little bit of wind here. We see Jimmy's boat over there. He says he's got a few sharks in the water. That's the good news. The bad news is to get from our boat to Jimmy's boat, we have to swim through the shark-infested water, as it were. but I'm cautiously optimistic we can make it, so we're really looking forward to another adventure.
Oh my goodness! I'm excited.
Well, we're getting some food in the water, some of this yummy chum. We're getting it in there, getting the sharks whipped up into a frenzy. This is an eco-friendly shark dive. We use recycled fish slop. We got 2 sandbar sharks here now. Shall we go in and check it out?
Oh yeah.
When Jimmy spotted a shark, he told us to get in the cage quickly. Once inside, the girls felt safe. I guess their main concern was swimming from the Kaioli'oli to Jimmy's boat through the open shark-infested waters. With the surface conditions being so rough, the shark cage was tossing us back and forth, the seawater and foam crashing over the top of the cage bouncing up and down, and swimming around on the outside of the bars. Sharks. Lots of sharks. Pretty soon we saw this big mama Galapagos shark come in. The Galapagos shark has the dorsal fin further back and the pectoral fins further forward. So at a quick glance, you can tell the difference between a Galapagos and a sandbar shark. Galapagos sharks are considered moderately dangerous because they're not only big, but they're very curious. And any big, curious creature with teeth should be treated with a lot of respect. The particular Galapagos shark that was circling our cage was perhaps 8 feet and maybe 300 pounds. Meanwhile, Jimmy and Chris were chumming the surface with fish guts. As the fish chunks and fish juice were floating through the water, the big mama Galapagos came right up to the bars, eating the food right before our eyes. At that time, I was really happy to have the cage between me and that big shark. After a while, the Galapagos shark got tired with the small food and she left. At that time, the girls had had enough. They got out of the cage and they went back to Jimmy's boat.
Hi.
Was it exciting?
It's very exciting. Oh my gosh. Very big.
Are you shaking because of the sharks or because of your cold?
Both. No. I'm shaking because I'm cold. Yeah. I don't get scared of sharks. The sharks are awesome. Yeah.
After the girls were back on the boat, I thought it would be a good time for me to get out of the cage and go swimming with some of these cute little sandbar sharks. I was pretty sure that I would be safe outside the cage. These sharks were more interested in eating the chunks of chum floating in the water, and they didn't pay much attention to me. Whenever there's a question involving shark safety, we always turn to our resident expert, Jimmy.
Sharks have been around for over 350 million years. There are some 350 species of sharks. Sharks have unbelievable senses. In front of their face, they have very small sensors called the ampullae of Lorenzini. They can detect minute voltages. All living things produce some micro amount of electrical current. Metal cage even is producing some kind of electrical current when it's in the seawater. So you see the shark come up and investigate. It's not trying to bite through and get at the people. It's just wondering what's going on. Sharks don't have hands, so they have to use their nose or their mouth to get a good look at something.
After an exciting morning swimming with Galapagos and sandbar sharks, it was time to head back to Haleiwa Harbor to refuel and get a bite to eat. As we cruised back to the North Shore, we relaxed, enjoyed the ride, and looked forward to an afternoon's adventure ahead. While docked at Haleiwa Harbor, Jimmy told me about the most incredible ocean experience of his life.
Is that like 15 foot, 2,000 pounds?
There was a time he and his girlfriend Stephanie swam with huge tiger sharks 17 miles off the north side of the island. A sperm whale had died and its carcass attracted all kinds of ocean wildlife, including one of the most feared predators of all, the tiger shark. It was the most amazing encounter story I'd ever heard.
I heard about a dead whale floating out in the ocean and all the amazing sharks that were just gorging themselves on this smorgasbord of disgust. The goal was not the dead whale. That was kind of disgusting, kind of a big mattress of blubber. What we were into was a tiger shark.
The decision to go out and see tiger sharks or whales is something that you make along the way at one point. You just wait for the right day, the right conditions, and then you just drop everything and you go out there.
I wanted to get in the water, and that actually kind of went against us.
Yeah, if you just give me the end, I can probably just go tie it on.
Because we were in such a panic, we tied up to the whale. All that activity actually, believe it or not, kind of, I don't know if it scared the sharks, but they quit eating because of that. And they would swim around and look at us, but they would not feed on the whale anymore. You definitely felt like you were swimming on the, the upper layer of fat when you're making stew or spaghetti. You were kind of, that after a while my fins actually didn't want to stay on my feet because it was so greasy. They just come popping off. Well, I also stood on it, so yeah.
It was just overwhelming in a way because it was so hard to decide what to do with that opportunity because I was afraid I would miss it. I thought I have to look, I have to take pictures of this from the top, from below, we have to take video, and finally after maybe 10-15 minutes we calmed down and kind of had a little bit more structure to the whole shoot.
When I saw the big sharks, that was what I wanted to see, and I was like a little kid actually. I was just jumping up and down. It was perfect. It's as good as if someone's into sharks, that was it. That was the pinnacle of sharkness.
I've only known Jimmy for one morning, and I'd have a hard time believing such a story. But when he showed us the actual video that he had shot, I was a believer. I gained a new level of respect for what they do and how they flow in perfect harmony with the ocean and its creatures.
That's my thing in life. I have certain goals. I want to get out and experience nature, the ocean.
I'd rather blow up than rust. I ain't gonna fade away or anything, If it's one of these things happens that kills me, I mean, I've done enough that's fine, I've lived a lifetime already. Never at any time when we're in the water were the sharks aggressive to us. We eased into the water and swam up to it slowly, and that didn't seem to upset him, and that's when we got that one just epic shot of the big tiger shark just, ripping a chunk off of that whale, and we were filming from 1 or 2 feet away. We were never scared in the water. The sharks had plenty to eat. We weren't on their menu. It was just never any fear. We were just actually wanting to be as close as they can. And when one is coming close to you, there was a thrill and a rush to it. But that was just more, knowing what images we were getting and being able to be so close to such an amazing animal. There was never any fear that we were going to be bitten. They were very curious, and they would come right up to us. In particular, when one of them was holding the video camera, I just would hold my ground and then watch them come up and look right at me and turn away. You could tell they were just curious, and they just wanted to see what was going on. You can't scare me. We were in the water for hours swimming amongst this rotting blubber, but we didn't even notice it. We noted the sharks overwhelmed everything.
Stephanie and Jimmy are truly blessed in living their dream. The Hawaiian Shark Encounter crew shuttled us back to the Kai Oli Oli. Kelly seemed to fit right in with Captain Jimmy, Stephanie, and Chris. She has incredible amounts of enthusiasm for the ocean lifestyle and surely be an asset to them at sea. As we rounded the point, the wind had subsided and we were going with the grain, so to speak. It was a much mellower ride than going against the waves and wind. As we passed the incredible Waianae mountain range and valleys, Kai Oli Oli owner Shane Griffith's son Ka'eo, shared some ancient Hawaiian history and folklore with us.
Hawaiians believe that different animals in nature were actually their spirit guardians. They actually thought that they protected their family, and they called them Amakua. And Amakua is close to the word Makua for Hawaiian, which means gods. Right here is hardly touched by mankind, so you'll probably see tons of different marine life. I'm sure you'll see lots of turtles, honu, you might even see octopus, a he'e.
Everyone seemed a little more relaxed after the Ka'aina Point crossing and excited to go and look for a pod of dolphins. Tammy told us that they like to come into certain areas that had a sandy bottom. She also said the dolphins prefer relaxing in this area because predators such as sharks are easier to spot and don't blend in like they would if the bottom were rocky. After hearing Captain Jimmy talk about the tiger sharks and seeing the whale feast footage, I could definitely understand the dolphins' concern. Rumor has it that dolphins always sleep with one eye open. I swam with dolphins many times on the Big Island and often heard them using their echolocation signals. Sometimes I could hear them and not see them. I was told that they're usually within a few hundred yards if you can hear their clicks and whistles. I've actually heard them with my head above the water too. Absolutely incredible, which is what made me want to learn more about these animals. So I thought I'd pick the brain of our local eco agent, Tammy. So graceful.
Acrobats of the sea.
And you can hear them chit-chatting underwater, talking and squeaking and clicking. What were they saying?
They were saying, "Whoa, look at those funny little people coming to visit us."
Tammy seemed to know quite a bit about the spinner dolphins, but I was getting restless and wanted to experience them firsthand. The Kaioli'oli had other guests on board, and everyone was excited to get in the water for a possible dolphin encounter, including me. I was hoping to get a good close look, and maybe a couple of shots with my video camera too. Finally, Captain Rob reported seeing a huge pod about 200 yards off the starboard of the boat. By the way, starboard means the right side. It was unreal. They swam at an amazing speed right up to the Kaioli'oli. Then they started surfing the bow wake. It was incredible. They loved the Kaioli'oli and surfing the wave at full speed. It was an amazing thing to watch. Captain Rob slowed to a stop and gave us permission to enter the water. Tammy gave us an important briefing on the proper way to interact with dolphins.
Please remember, if you're fortunate enough to encounter dolphins or other marine life in the wild, observe them with respect and appreciation. This means to avoid touching or feeding them. And definitely do not chase them. The secret is letting them observe you.
What do you got for us?
Just spotted a pod of spinner dolphins.
Where's that?
Right up Ka'aina Point.
All right, let's go check them out.
All right, now I found my poipus in life.
Whew, let's go get our dive gear and get in the water.
A dolphin breathes through the blowhole at the top of its head, never through its mouth. They can hold their breath for close to 10 minutes and swim as fast as 20 to 30 miles per hour, depending on the species. There are about 60 to 70 species, and each are different. Their strong tails, also known as flukes, give them the power to swim fast. We noticed a few of the dolphins playing with floating plastic grocery bags that had been blown into the sea by strong trade winds. They seemed to enjoy playing with the bags and would carry them around on their nose and fins. It was a little disturbing to see such awesome animals playing with trash. Nearing the end of our swim, our thoughts of the harmful effects of floating debris were confirmed. We saw a dolphin with a plastic grocery bag stuck around its body. We feared this could cover its blowhole and make it difficult to breathe. This is a perfect example of the devastating effects pollution and garbage have had on our marine environment.
So what a great dive, Tammy.
That was an awesome dive.
What was your favorite part?
I just like the fact that they came in so close to us. It's beautiful.
So many of them too, like 20 or 30 at a time. They come swimming right up to you, and then someone just break away from the rest of the group and come right up and take a look at you and check you out and see you're okay, and then kind of go on their way. Did you see it when the dolphin swam down there with the turtle? That was so cool.
I did. That was very interesting. And then I saw you down there as well with them.
The dolphins and the turtles and me all together. That was really fun. The dolphin encounter was phenomenal and brought back memories of swimming with dolphins on the Big Island. I must admit, today goes down in my logbook as one of the most memorable days of my life. I was very grateful for the aloha spirit that owner Shane and crew of the Kaioli'oli presented to Kelly and me. I was looking forward to the next leg of the journey back to my neck of the woods, the Big Island. In my opinion, it offers some of the best scuba diving opportunities in the world, and my favorite, the Manta Ray Night Dive off the Kona coast. After all, that's how I got my nickname. You gotta love it.